My name is James Barrett. I'm here as a member of the Chapel Hill Carrboro Board of Education to speak in favor of the Common Core state standards for our state. We need to remember these are standards. They do not dictate how teachers should teach or curriculum that districts should use. Yes, they are challenging standards, but what's the alternative? You've heard from experts on all sides of the political spectrum tell you that these standards are what we need to ensure our students succeed in college and in life. I'm also the parent of 2 students going through our schools right now, so I see the effects of these standards on a daily basis. In fact, if my daughter were here, she'd tell you she hates the Common Core. In math in particular, she's very good at procedures, but the Common Core insists on more. It insists that students be able to truly understand why they implement a procedure and explain their mathematical thinking. That's why she hates Common Core. It makes her struggle. I believe that struggle is where she learns new things. In Chapel Hill Carrboro, we're seeing struggles as we implement Common Core as well. But the end result will be better than we had before, so our focus needs to be on working through those struggles, not going backward. In fact, the ACT reported that only 37% of North Carolina students who have been through 12 years of our old standards were ready for college. That 37% indicates just how poor our previous standards were. Is that really what you want to take us back to? The College Board also says that 30% of freshmen from states with low standards need remediation. These are students whom we used to pass from grade to grade, but who are not learning at the depth they need to succeed. The depth Common Core standards require. North Carolina can do better, and we owe it to our students to do better. And we will do better with continued implementation of Common Core. I happen to work for a large high-tech company whose motto once was think. I believe that sums it up. We need today's students, tomorrow's employees, to be capable of doing just that. Think. The way to get there is to continue to implement Common Core standards across North Carolina. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Strand. I have kids in the Wake County School District. My kids have been very fortunate to have amazing teachers in their schools. These teachers, some of them have been selected Teacher of the Year by their peers. I have no doubt they will be in your top 25%. I am here today speaking for myself. I'm also here to speak for all of the neighbors and the teachers, all of my friends that I have asked, what do you think about Common Core? All of them tend to have the same reaction. They roll their eyes, and then they have a story to tell. Do you know how many parents are having to Google so they can help their kids with first, second, and third grade math? I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. I have another neighbor whose son has been selected by his teacher to be tested to see if he can make it into the academically gifted program. Simultaneously, he has been flagged for being at risk for failing his EOGs. He is being made to take a test anxiety support group, or he's been made to join a test anxiety support group that they have formed at the school because of issues like this that have happened because of Common Core. Common Core is fundamentally flawed. It's also copyrighted. The only solution is a full repeal. You cannot slow down or delay the implementation or throw money at something that is fundamentally flawed and expect to end up with something else. I brought with me today a couple of assignments for my daughter. She's in the 2nd grade. If you notice, if you notice at the top they have day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not flexibility, that's not creativity. They're telling the teachers what to teach and when to teach it. Since I don't have much time, it says, describe the pattern that emerges when you count by 5 starting at 0. What would happen if you skip counted by 5 starting at 1? It's clear from my daughter's answer she doesn't understand, but at the end she said if you count by 5 starting at 1, it will go all crazy. My daughter is very bright, but she doesn't understand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for letting me come. My name is Suzanne Days. I'm a parent on my 4th math curriculum. I have a son who's in AP Calculus, and he works very hard. He can't quite understand how Common Core math thinks that kids can use phones and instead of multiplication tables. My son, currently in 5th grade, was one of those gap kids who missed that law that you guys passed that said they needed to learn their math facts. We chose to enroll him in Kumon, which is where a lot of the Asian families go. because they're not sold on Common Core. So last time I came and they said, why are the Asians getting ahead? It's because sometimes they're doubling up on curriculums. My daughter, Common Core 2, Common Core 1, her teacher, first year out of school, Park Scholar from NC State, is having to make up her own curriculum, her own tests, her own worksheets. They're getting YouTube videos to watch. And sometimes the test answer sheets don't match. The questions don't have answers or they're incorrect, and that's the only curriculum they have to learn on. Fast forward, why am I here? This winter I proctored a test for Common Core 2 for one child. She was from a Middle Eastern country. She cried after the test was over and she said, I studied for a whole week. My parents won't understand. None of this, only 50% of this curriculum was covered this semester. That was conferred by 3 different parents from 3 different school systems within Wake County. That out of the 35 questions, only 16 were covered in Common Core 2. How do you explain that to your parents who are coming from a different curriculum where you're taught and you're tested on what you're taught? Where we really see problems is in math. I loved math. Horrible in English, bad in semantics, and now to see that my child's math education is tied up in words. People who would struggle with this type of Common Core, one size fits all, these are some people that were dyslexic like me, loved math, struggled with semantics. Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Alexander Graham Bell, Leonardo da Vinci, Walt Disney, Winston Churchill. Sometimes one size doesn't fit all, and I thank God that when I went through the educational system, I had that option.
Good morning, my name is Suzanne Days. I am Special Advisor on Education Initiatives for SAS Institute. I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, Representative Holloway, each of you for your leadership and work on this very important issue. It is great that we've got so many parents, teachers, and community leaders engaged on this issue, but I think we need to remember why the business community is so interested, and it is because of the impact on our state's economy and on North Carolina businesses. And that is why we are very supportive of these new goals and standards that will help make sure that our students are college and career ready. And by college ready, that does not mean just a 4-year degree, but it means a certification, a 2-year degree from our great community colleges. And this is important to us because of the statistics that we know exist in this state. Middle skills jobs, skills gaps exist in middle skills jobs, those that require more than a high school education, but less than a 4-year degree. Experts are predicting a deficit of 46,000 workers in the state of North Carolina by 2022 if current education and market trends continue. At SAS, where we have so many jobs in science, technology, education, and math, where 91% of those jobs will require a post-secondary education, we are concerned because today only 38% of working age adults in North Carolina have that level of educational attainment. SAS often waits 2 years to fill well-paying jobs at our company. And that is why we support your efforts. We look forward to continuing to work with you as we move forward on what is best for students in North Carolina. Thank you very much.
My name is Lisa Randall. The transparency of North Carolina legislatures and the NCDPI has been non-existent. I am submitting my correspondence with June Atkinson into the record today while requesting the following information under the Freedom of Information Act. What is the specific law that allows a child to not advance to the next grade for opting out of Common Core testing? What is in Bloom now called in North Carolina? In Pennsylvania, it is now called PIMS. What is the existing database that in Bloom typically gets its information called in North Carolina? What is the longitudinal student database called in North Carolina? Is it eScholar or Home Base? Who are all of the third-party companies that North Carolina has contracts/agreements with to share information? I'm requesting a current flow chart on how information is shared and the names of the companies involved. What are all the data sets that are collected on students, and where is that information stored? What are the gaps in curriculum between Common Core and North Carolina's old curriculum? What is DPI's action plan to Field them. What is the original plan? What were the EOG grades from last year prior to the new EOG grading scale? What is the total cost of implementation of Common Core to date? How much of that was covered by the original incentive by the federal government? What deficit is left? What are all the new costs to implement Common Core after all the federal grant money is spent, i.e. Cedars will soon start charging $4 per pupil in 2014. What years will the new incurred costs impact North Carolina's budget? What will be the cost for the SBAC test for the next 5 years? What is the remaining projected cost to fully implement Common Core? I am requesting the original cost analysis for Common Core. I am requesting the meeting minutes for CCSSO to be released immediately. How much did North Carolina save on the purchase of the software due to the contract with Bloom? How much is the full price of the software compared with the old non-Common Core budget? How much more is North Carolina paying with the discount software? I am requesting the release of all contract agreements the state PPI has entered into only pertaining to direct or indirect relationship with Common Core. We need to pull out of Common Core, we need the answers, and we need to get them fast.
Hi, good morning. My name is Erin Kirkpatrick. I reside in Union County, North Carolina. I value the opportunity to come before you today. The U.S. Constitution makes no mention of education. Education is a matter reserved for the states. Education of our children is best managed by those closest to it. Our founding fathers saw no role for the federal government in education. Federal Common Core is federal intrusion. North Carolina is unique. The very idea of a national international Common Core is as ludicrous as having Kansas school science field trips to the ocean. Do New York students on Common Core intensely learn about North Carolina to preserve our history for future generations? Federal Common Core strips our ability to be competitive as a state nationally and globally. Federal Common Core removes our choice. I could talk to you for hours about the shortcomings of the curriculum itself and the educational dumbing down it will do, or how many official educational evaluators publicly and officially oppose the curriculum itself. I won't list the states that have suffered greater loss over a longer period of time, or how the Gates Foundation is a significant source of funding. I don't wish to waste your time when the very notion of universal curriculum is simply egregious. Federal Common Core mandates heavy, frequent testing, promoting teaching to the test and not to the child. Federal Common Core incentivizes and rewards the manipulation of school test scores, like Common Core trafficking of children through unnecessary busing. Masking educational differences in children will not help them succeed, learn viable trades, or discover new North Carolina industry. Federal Common Core removes individuality and autonomy from the state of North Carolina. Embrace uniqueness as opportunity to inspire children and create innovations for the great state of North Carolina. School choice, curriculum choice, and custom education of our state will propel us further. Abandon race to the top, Common Core, or universal education by any other name. Thank you for listening.